Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Makazai. You already know what this is. This is T.O.Z. Trumpers of Zion. Want to give all praise to the Most High through His Son. All right, so this lesson was called "Indians Were Called Negro, Now What?" This was originally done on the Scriptures, No Vain Opinions, but I'm transferring it over here. Now, brothers is still, they make lessons and they constantly talk about natives being Israel and things like that. And, it's clear that a lot of brothers still don't have the understanding of the Americas and can't, differentiate, that you had Negroes here and then you had Mongoloids here. Okay, and the brothers even want to play semantics. Oh, those Mongoloids, they were dark skinned as well. The point is that there was more people here. Okay, so, but my point is, even with these sources that brothers use, they don't understand that. Even like the view of the Hebrews, the guy calls the indigenous people Aborigines, that they're Hebrews. Okay, Aborigine, that's associated with black. Okay, Negro. Okay, so I don't know what you guys are missing. Even in Lost Tribe and Promised Land, he calls them copper-colored Hebrews. Even, I believe, either the Ladino video or the Morano video I showed, that you had, during slave times, they was calling Negroes copper-colored, a copper-colored Negro, so on and so forth. Even you had a magazine called Copper back in the day. All right, so but yeah, he's calling the Indians copper color. Even the definition in the Webster says the copper color race of America. Okay, so you guys got to put two and two together. Okay, so you Negro only and all the Negro only and all of this, and they still don't really understand the Americas and understand the distinction. That's why I still got to finish the Deuteronomy. The Latin America, but I'm Deuteronomy 28:37 in Latin America, but I'm doing it because we're scattered throughout and Negro is being pressed throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, so, but, I've shown, El Dan the Danite and various other scriptures or various other sources showing that you still had Northern Kingdom that was still in Africa and still on that side of the world. Even Acts 29:5. Showing that Paul was trying to teach some of the Israelites from the Assyrian captivity in Britain. Okay, and it's not far-fetched that who was there? Moranos, Israelites, King James, so on and so forth. Okay, so, brothers got to stop being so naive when it comes to, like, this whole 12 tribes chart, doctrine. All right, so, so that's my little spill, 2 cents. All right, so, like I said, this video is about showing that the Indians were called Negro. Okay, so, like I said, do I subscribe to all Indians coming to the Americas? No, I do not. I still believe that a lot, and from the sources, they were still in Africa as well. But I do believe that, because, you got brothers that act like there was no Israelites that came over here either. You know what I'm saying? But I know that they were Negro. Okay, so, that's my little, that's what I had to say. All right, shalom. Okay, I wanted to bring these out before I touch into the Negro aspect, but this is from Carlos Marquez. He said the Negro type is seen in the most ancient Mexican sculptures. The Negroes figure frequently in the most remote traditions of some American pueblos. It is to this race doubtlessly belongs the most ancient skeletons, distinct from the red American race. So distinct from the red American race or the Mongols. Okay, so how come this guy knows this, but men that's been in the truth all these years couldn't see that and couldn't the distinction, but yet men is running around here talking about they got 100% truth, and the Most High is only dealing with our camp. All right, so which have been found in various places from Bolivia to Mexico. It is likely that we repeat America was a Negro continent. Okay, so even they using the word Negro. Okay, so Negro only. You know what I'm saying? So America is a Negro continent. All right. Okay, this is the other one, Dr. Nicholas Leon, and y'all see the sources though, but it says the almost extinction of the original Negroes during the time of the Spanish conquest and the memories of them in the most ancient tradition induce us to believe that the Negroes were the first inhabitants of Mexico. Okay, so which was a cut to Ayash. It wasn't Negroes didn't just pop up in Mexico during slavery. No, they've been there. All right. So yeah, because even using that book, I believe it's the origin of the American Indians, how the Aztecs say they're from Issachar. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Brothers will use that. They'll take that and be like, yeah, oh, these Negro only. But again, you haven't put the right face to it. Okay, because you busy using outdated history, and using outdated history, thinking that the first people there was what we have now. All right. So so a lot of this stuff I'm about to bring out is coming from the book Africans and Native Americans by Jack Forbes. So y'all could see this the book right here. All right. So some of the stuff is coming from that, and some is not. But it says in August 1552, Nobrega wrote from Bahia, South America, to Lisbon, and we know that Bahia, because the guy said in his video that majority of the slaves came to Brazil, but again, Bahia is a predominantly Afro-Brazilian. There's a lot of Afro-Brazilians in Bahia. Okay, so but yet 1552, they're saying that what does it say? South America to Lisbon, Portugal, referring to the native peoples as Negroes. Okay, so that off tops. That's what I'm saying. It's not about no emotion. That dude getting emotional. These are facts. Okay, so the only Negroes that came into Brazil wasn't no slaves. They was already there. Okay, and any other new Negroes, quote unquote Africans that came were Israelites as well. Okay, so yeah, so because he's saying, oh, all the people in North America, those was Canaanites, but the people in Brazil, those was the Israelites. Okay, no, you already had Negroes there already. Okay, this is he was preaching, or that is he was preaching to the Americans called Negroes. He also refers to the Negroes in Los Mamelucos de la Tierra as peoples. All right, so that's what that is. It says from 1549 through 1565, the letters of the Jesuit missionaries in Brazil, usually addressed to the colleagues in Portugal or Spain, frequently refers to the Americans as Negroes. As Negroes. Okay, there's your Negro only. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's calling the Indians Negroes, but when we do it, or if we say the tribes is all Negro, then everybody got a problem with it. But everybody's, yeah, like I said, emotional, no facts, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all reading out of the scriptures, you're proving that the Jews is compared to Africans, but yet when it comes to the Northern Kingdom, y'all lost your mind. Everything is carnal now. Oh, be spiritual. Okay, so yeah, man, yeah. But the scriptures say, "Prove all things," doesn't it? Okay, study to show thyself approved. Okay, so it says in April of 1549, Miguel de Nobrega, the leader of the Jesuits, addressed a letter from Bahia to Samao, Rodriguez in Lisbon, in which he refers to the Portuguese in Brazil as living in sin because of their having many negras and lots of children by the said black women. Okay, so negras by the said black women. So yes, the Spaniards, it was us that they was, black people that they was rape, robbery, and murder. Okay, so that's what was happening. Okay, now did everybody and their mama was did every Spaniard rape a black woman? You know what I'm saying? No. Okay, so because that would be the next thing. Because everyone was raped, and that's why everyone looks the way they look today. No, not everybody was raped. Okay, because even if that's the case, when they talk about slavery. Okay, or like the African so-called Africans coming on slave ships, and then the plantation slave masters sleeping with women. Did that mean that everybody was mixed? You know what I'm saying? No, stop it. Okay, so it says when Africans are referred to in the Jesuit letters, they always call Negroes de Guinea, blacks of Guinea, to distinguish them from Negroes de Terra, blacks of the land or Americas. Okay, so blacks of the land. Okay, so this is a book, Blacks of the Land, Indian Slavery. Okay, settler society and Portuguese colonial enterprise in South America. Okay, and you can see the cover. Okay, so blacks of the land, is that talking about the modern days? Okay, so the Spaniards was calling Indians Negro de Terra. Okay, so here it is, the title of which translates literally as blacks of the land. Okay, one of many terms the Portuguese use for Amerindians. Okay, so blacks of the land. Okay, Negros de Terra. Alright, because I want to show some more stuff in Brazil. Okay, this is the better one. But it says the term Negro, blacks who were associated with slave status. The term Negro itself implied a servile condition and was often but not always used as a synonym for slave. So there was the word Negro would mean slave, basically. Okay, thus the commonly used label for indigenous people. So, thus the commonly used label for indigenous people in 16th century Brazil, Negros de Terra, blacks of the land. Okay, so thus commonly used label for indigenous people. So, I mean, these men, I mean, I don't get what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So indigenous people, everybody, I'm indigenous. You know what I'm saying? But Negros de Terra, okay, revealed a perception of of them in a servile status, more or less equivalent to Africans who were called Negros de Guinea. Okay, later in 1757, the Indian mission villages in the Amazon region were secularized in the directory system. The unjust and scandalous practice of calling Indians Negroes, implying thereby their servitude. Okay, so that was pretty much it. So as I talked about Bahia earlier, showing you, or matter of fact, hold on, before I get that. Because I'll deal with the Brazil part, and then I'll keep it going since I went there. Okay, so this is the book, A History of Colonial Brazil, 1500, 1792. So I hope y'all is writing these notes and taking it down, getting some of the sources I showed. If brothers want to know where I got the images, just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it. Okay, so it says this is page 96. And let me see. Matter of fact, I'll start at 95. Yeah, so it says ways had to be found to attract more Indians to Christianity. Okay, a principal Indian who lived in Bahia had already accepted the faith. The Jesuits gave him a red beret and a pair of trousers to cover his privates. On one occasion, they seated him at the table with them as a sign of respect and in order to impress the other Negroes. So, again, y'all scared of this term, but again, all y'all claim y'all Gad, y'all claim y'all all these tribes of the Northern Kingdom, but you're scared of the word Negro. Yet you should know your history. That's my thing about these guys, is they're running their mouth. This guy talking about in the video, this dude right here talking all this stuff about that there's an awakening, but yet you guys don't know your history. Okay, so you guys don't know that you were you Gad and all of this, but you don't know you were classified as Negro, because it wasn't you. Okay, it was us that's being called Negro, nigga. A lot of I'm gonna hit y'all with something, because a lot of these terms that we're thinking that was an African term, like even like pickaninny, coon, all of those was applied to indigenous people. Okay, especially pickaninny. Okay, and then like Sambo. Okay, all of those was in reference to indigenous people. Okay, but dropping down, it says the governor general was the strongest supporter of the Jesuits. T.O.Z. de Souza said Nobrega was chosen by the Most High to be governor. He is careful and sensible, and our Lord will preserve him to govern this our people of Israel. So they said this our people of Israel, referring to those indigenous people, which I got other proof. He said he understands the spirit of the company so well that he lacks only a little of being a member. Okay, so and this is on page 96. Okay, it says whites in some respects were worse than Indians, or Negroes as they were commonly called. Okay, Father Berzara, by unjustly killing an Indian chief, brought down the vengeance of the chief's sons and various villages of Indians, except for their nefarious banquets on human flesh. The Negroes led a better life than the whites, and it would be wise, many thought, to return them to their villages. Okay, and you know, there's stuff out there that they weren't really all cannibals and stuff like that. But I mean, that's also prophecy, because we know that you know, the curses talk about that, and some of our captivities, we were quote unquote cannibals, or not the fact of being cannibals, but we had Most High said we would eat our children. Okay, and I talked about that in the video, I believe on Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, 68, about the Josephus. Okay, Salakia. Okay, so yeah, from there, let me show. So this image of a Jesuit converting indigenous people. Okay, woolly hair. I mean, it's the same thing I'm showing y'all, man. All throughout the board, man. Because, see, 17th century, who worked among the Amazon Indians. Okay. So it's clearly showing you what the deal is. So, like I said, no one could really combat this, cause so let's get it. Let's get some more. Cause so this is the book Bahia, the heart of Brazil's northeast, and you can see on the cover Negroes. Cause so telling you that Bahia was mainly Negroes. A lot of Negroes are there. Okay, but this says Nobriega and many other early Iberian Catholics believed that the American indigenous people were descendants. So listen, it says early Iberian Catholics believed that the American indigenous people were descendants of one of the lost tribes of Israel, and as such, they were protected by the church. Okay, so yeah, there you go. And we in Bahia, and in Bahia, what were they being called? Negro. All these Indians being called, and that's also a cut for those that don't believe that we're Israel or we're Israelites. That be into these other doctrines, Egyptology, even some that know we're indigenous to the land, but they don't mess with Israelites, quote unquote. But you know what I'm saying. So just showing that. So I show being converted. Okay, so this is another map. And I said, as you can see, we were made to serve these idols, the cross, forced to serve a white Jesus, and a religion that isn't about our Father. Yeah. Okay, so showing the curses. Okay, even this right here. Okay, so it said from left to right, Europe, America, Africa, Asia. Okay, so you see America, you see Africa. Okay, compared to an Egyptian, compared to these other Hamite nations. Okay, so so you see this image, America. See like the white, the cross and all of that. These converting us. Okay, Spaniards. Okay, so let's move forward. All right, let me see. All right, let me show this. So, okay, so this is the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay, the word nigger. Okay, so it's dark-skinned. It said a dark-skinned person of sub-Saharan African origin or descent. Okay, equal Negro. Okay, so they want to put that as being African. Okay, but when you drop down to 3, it says a dark-skinned person of any origin. In early U.S. use usually with reference to American Indians. Okay, so nigger refer to American Indians. Okay, so why aren't men bringing this out when it comes to the Northern Kingdom? Okay, so and if a man does, he's naive and he's trying to act like that was applied to modern days. Okay, no. And you say be an Aborigine. Okay, so most of the time, obviously, damn near all the time, Aboriginals or Aborigines, they always, even though they point it to people in Australoid, but it could be it's us as well, over here in the Americas. Okay, and I just showed, I just talked about the senator that called us Aborigines. All right, so okay, so this is. Where is it at? Okay, so this is from the book, the Only Land They Knew: The Tragic Story of the American Indians in Old South. Okay, so I want to get some of the few parts. Okay, it says, in fact, I'm gonna get to the point. It says I'm right here at an early period, an undetermined number of full-blooded or mixed-blood Indians were categorized as Negroes. Okay, so there we go again, full-blooded or mixed-blooded. Okay, because again, we read earlier that the Spaniards was dealing with black women. Okay, so and a mulatto, yeah, you talking about mix. So yeah, the real Indians that did mix in with the white man would look more mulatto, cause like, you know, black and white, you know, so to speak. Yeah, mulatto. Okay, let me see. You know, so I mean, I can't even get the. I'll show this, but like, yeah, you know, so mulatto. You know, obviously y'all know what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's Jordan Sparks. You know what I'm saying? So, but you still see that she go back to a Negro. But my point is, yeah, the mixed Indians, all of them, which she would, which biracial people today is still, yeah, they would be classified as a Negro as well, or African American. Okay. All right, but it says, except the Indians normally cost less, masters made little distinction between African and Indian slaves, all while indiscriminately thrown together in the quarters, sent out to the fields, and employed as artisans and domestics. Okay, so they made little distinction. So let's hold that. Get another source. Okay, this is Carolina Genesis. Okay, beyond the color line. Okay, and it says in 1676, after Holland transferred the region to England, English colonists considered dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives of New England to be indistinguishable. Okay, so indistinguishable. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, Jeremiah, that other script, Salakia, the other source I'm just reading now, that's your Jeremiah 50 and 33. Okay, Judah and Ephraim are pressed together. Okay, so yeah, you got two on the same plantation, Africans and Indians, but they couldn't distinguish them. Okay, and this is another source to back up that source. Okay, so it says, according to David McRitchie and ancient and modern Britons, so yeah, you know, like GMS and a lot of these camps, you know, you delve into the ancient and modern Britons, but you didn't see this. You didn't see that. In 1681, the Indians of New England, or Moors as they were called by the English, so Indians was called Moors. Okay, and I was thinking about that I should have put that up about the Moors or Indians, because I got stuff showing how Indians are Moors, but you know, I didn't want to put that up, but you know, it's just showing you right here. Were described by Quaker William Penn to be as black as gypsies, and that's a cut to Ayash. He making videos and showing pictures of gypsies, talking about, you know what I'm saying, but they were black. Okay, Native and Gypsy, Sarfetic and Marrano, and I showed that in my Marrano video. Miscegenation took place early on, resulting from Spanish trade and slavery. Okay, so it's showing you. So and right here it says many. I didn't get that other part because this is the point I wanted. But many of the Indians, however, darken their already swarthy complexion. Okay, so they was already swarthy, which we are. Okay, so like I was saying, because I have the book right here with me, but it said many, as you can see it, many of the Indians, however, darken their already swarthy complexion by applying bear oil as a repellent against mosquitoes and other insects. Okay, so they was already swarthy. Okay, and again, let's not play games to what that means. Okay, matter of fact, let's get it. Okay, so swarthy, dark skin. Okay, dark color, especially of skin. We already know. Again, even with the Moors, we know like Charles Stewart, Swart, all of that goes back to being dark skinned. Okay, but I wanted to touch in real quick on the Moor aspect because also Indians was just like they was called Negro. They was also called Moor. Okay, so I wanted to go back and read that one more time for y'all. It said in 1676, after Holland transferred the region to England, English colonists considered dark-skinned Moors and dark-skinned natives of New England to be indistinguishable. Okay, and here's the definition for y'all that might not know. It says not able to be identified as different or distinct. Okay, so going back to the other other book I brought out showing on the plantation, again, the master made little distinction. The same word was used. Okay, all right, so but it says, now this is the point. It says, according to David McRitchie in Ancient and Modern Britons, and again, like I said, we have this book. You know, a lot of brothers in Israel, a lot of camps know of this book, but you didn't see this part. But then you talking about, oh, these Negro only Israelites, but yet Indians were called Moors. And was it talking about Mongoloids? Was it talking about the so-called white man that claims he's a Indian? He's a $5 Indian? No. Alright, so it says, according to David McRitchie in Ancient and Modern Britons in 1681, the Indians of New England, or Moors, as they were called by the English, were described by the Quaker William Penn to be as black as gypsies. Okay, and yeah, like I said, that was a cut to Ayash talking about the gypsies as yeah, but here he said they not black, or he basically he was saying, yeah, they was looking like, yeah, showing a bunch of damn whitewash images. He always showing whitewash images, but here it is, a source that says that they were black. Okay, but showing you Indians was called Moor. So let's further prove that. Okay, so this is a post that I made. And it says Indians were called Moors like their brethren in Europe, but really Indians were enslaved to Europe and Africa as well. That's why you see images, sculptures of Indians with feathers in Europe. Again, I'm not talking about Mongol, and I was talking about neither Mongols weren't called Moor, nor Europeans that are saying they're Native Americans, which are $5 Indians today. So obviously you can tell that these are from Europe. Okay, even look at the coat of arms. Okay, this as well, bow and arrow. Okay, this is Indian Moran. So Moor, you see it right there, and both Indian Moran. So and he's dressed like the same images I've been showing, feathers, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what I wanted to get. Yeah, this is another one as well. Okay, so this is what I wanted to get and show. Okay, so this is a painting. Okay, and okay, so this is a painting. Alright, so as you can see at the bottom, it says Moor. Okay, and that obviously is clearly a Negro, broad nose, thick lips. Okay, so this is from the British Museum. Okay, so it says the Black Archer after Cornelius Vischer, a young Moor half-length holding a bow and arrow, facing right and looking back over his shoulder to the left. Okay, so matter of fact, and then down here it says the inscription content. It says lettered below the image, thus armed the Indian with his dart and bow. Okay, so let's get a little more on that. All right, so as you can see, it says Indian. Okay, so let's see why. Okay, so this was from the Wikipedia. All right, so it says portrait of a Moor with a bow and arrow by John de Fisher, 1650, after a drawing by Cornelius Fisher. I believe they were brothers. It says, which was possibly inspired by the same subject. Two inscriptions for the portrait exist. The first, an engraving by Cornelius Fisher, reads, I'm not gonna, I think it's Dutch, but it says, thus lifts the Moor his bow and arrow, the enemy or wildlife to eye. Okay, then it says, in the 1750 reproduction of Vischer's portrait held at the British Museum and published by George Pulley of London, the caption below describes the archer as an American Indian, replacing the word Moor for Indian, the words being interchangeable at the time. So we already dealt that in the Carolina Genesis book that David McRitchie was stating that the Indians, or Moors as they were called by the English. Okay, so showing you that it was like I said, interchangeable at the time. All right, so what's that other part to it? Hold on, I wanted to get one more part. Okay, so and this is the rest of that rest to the paragraph of that source. But it says the 1750 reproduction of Vischer's portrait, published by George Pulley of London, describes the subject as an Indian, presumably of American origin. All right, so like I said, stop playing games. Okay, so Indians was called Moor, Negro. Okay, I mean, a lot of things that can describe as being of colored. You know what I'm saying? So for y'all that hate the word Negro, okay, well, what about colored? What about all these to show that the Northern Kingdom was a people of color, and they still were, because that was the 1600s. Okay, 1700s. Okay, so 1800s, it didn't change to where they now they looking like I said, modern day Hispanics and Native Americans. Okay. So, because again, I've done showed all throughout this lesson that who the real Indian was, So, yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, a lot of y'all that's saying y'all, oh, Negro only, but then in the same breath, y'all talking about Israel. Yeah, Israel was all Negro at one time, but they still are. Okay, because that don't make no sense. Judah's the only one, and I'm getting tired of hearing this little doctrine like Judah mixed in with Ham. That's why they kept their, complexion. But I'm showing you that the Indians they was on the plantation with the Southern Kingdom, and the slave master couldn't be distinguishable. It couldn't be distinguishable. So that's a question to a lot of y'all. Can you guys be can you be indistinguishable with a Negro? No. Okay, so I mean it's common sense. Alright, so it is what it is. So let's go back. Slovakia. So let me see some. Okay, yeah, I'll read this part, but it says Spanish names including Maria, Juan, Antonio, Francisco appeared among Southern slaves, okay, in the South, and without more information, it is impossible to tell whether these Negroes were African or Indians, which again they were Israelites. But dropping down, it says in South Carolina, a good guess is that more often than not they were Indians, especially as we'll be seeing if they were females. Okay, and I'm about to bring another source that yeah they were Indian. Well, not from here, but just showing further proving Indians were Negroes. Okay, but this is a good book. I just wanted to get just a few other things into it, but yeah. So that's a book y'all can pick up. Uh, that's a that's a good book y'all can pick up. All right, so this is Negro is used for Indian. This is another thing I have posted. Okay, but it said Jesuits was muy suave to whites as to Negroes in his work in Brazil. The next year, June 1562, Duvelle also wrote to Rome using as Negroes for Americans, while in June 1565 he wrote to the Jesuits of Portugal about him Negro pesado, and he also uses O Negro for a Tamil. In a footnote, the editor states Negro por Indian. I can't. Yeah, I don't know that, but basically, thus Negro is used for Indian, not for someone from Africa. So thus Negro is used for Indian and not for someone from Africa. Okay, so yeah, these Negroes. So you just hate the word Negro, but like I said, the Jews are a people of color, Negroid, so to speak. So yeah, like I was saying, no matter what somebody look like, if they go back to Negroes, it's just it's self-explanatory. Okay, but it's clear. It says Negro is used for Indian, not for someone from Africa. All right. Okay, let me see. This other part I wanted to look at. Yeah, it's pretty much because I was just putting up everything that um, I was pretty much putting everything up that I was trying to use, but I already because it's pretty much saying the same thing that I brought out in the other thing on Brazil about the Negroes. But it says the occasional use of Negro for Americans seems to continue into the 18th century. Okay, so into the 18th century now, and you see all these images of Geronimo and all of that. Were they called Negro? Did that in the 18th centuries? Did that apply to them? So y'all gotta ask yourself a question. Y'all gotta ask that question. Okay, and the damn sure y'all not being classified as Negro now, because so in a lot Latinos put white on the census or on their like the census. So yeah, y'all not. So this is not applying to y'all. All right, so this is Turks, Moors, and Englishmen. And I put Indians were sent on ships, Deuteronomy 28:68, to Spain and Africa, but they were classified as Negro. Men can't be that bold and simple to say these are Canaanites, because that's what it seems like. Anything black is Canaanite. Okay, but I'm gonna show on the last little slide, something. Okay, and this from that book. Okay, and it says, also in the same period, Bretons began to meet physically with both the American Indians and the Muslims, not only in North America and North Africa, respectively, but in each other's continents. They met American Indians in North Africa as slaves. Okay, so they met American Indians in North Africa as slaves. Okay, so was that talking about y'all? You modern days and these men that have a problem and talking about we Canaan. Was this you? Cause so it says they met American Indians in North Africa as slaves who had been carried across the Atlantic by the Spaniards and the New Englanders and sold into the Muslim markets as late as 1691. Okay, Indians who had been captured during King Philip's War were sent to be sold in the coastline not very remote from Egypt. Come on, man. Were sent to be sold in the coastline not very remote from Egypt on the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so all the way to Egypt in the prophecy, what you got? So that's also how you know that a lot of 10 tribes is still in Africa, man. You know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, let's just get that real quick. It's Isaiah 11. Okay, so and it shall 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Most High shall set in his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. Okay, so but to show you that they ended up in Egypt as well. Okay, were sent to be sold in the coastline not very remote from Egypt on the Mediterranean Sea, so close to Egypt. Okay, so obviously they most likely ended up in Egypt and other areas around there. Okay, but the point is Indians was shipped to Africa. Okay, let's further prove that. Okay, so this is still this is also from Africanism and Americans. It says dropping at the or actually I'm gonna read. It says in any case at least 3,000 Americans are known to have been shipped to Europe between 1493 and 1501. And Salakia, let me bring this out because let me bring this out because some unlearned, because again you men unlearned running around here, but you men are unlearned running around here talking all this stuff, but you don't even know history. Now this is something that happened on Facebook, but I said that image of indigenous people that were shipped from the Americas to Spain. This dude said that's a lie, laughing out. Here it is. Why would they take so-called Issachar to Spain? And it had nothing to do with Issachar because this ain't talking about Mexicans. For y'all going by the chart. See that, and they just showing y'all don't even know. I'm just exposing how stupid a lot of men are. Okay, and it's not even being proud or nothing, but it's just simple. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. I done showed a whole video showing you Tainos with Columbus, so on and so forth. Those are the people this guy talking about Issachar. Okay, so it says it's a short trip to Africa. Too easy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These guys is a joke. You know what I'm saying? So, but here it is. Here, let's let the sources talk. I'm not just running my mouth. So it says, in any case, at least 3,000 Americans are known to have been shipped to Europe between 1493 and 1501, with the likely total being possibly double that. Most were sent to Seville area where they seem to show up in the slave markets as Negroes. What? No. These Negro only Israelites, I can't believe them. They denying that Indians is Israel, but those Indians was called Negro in Spain. They went on slave ships, but they was called Negroes. Okay, so without a place of origin being mentioned, others were probably sold in the Azores and other islands, partly to avoid the wrath of Queen Isabella. Okay, it says Columbus reached Lisbon in early March 1493. Many people came to see the captive Americans. Columbus reached Lisbon in early March 1493. Many people came to see the captive Americans. Okay, so didn't we show that earlier? Didn't we show that earlier? Right here. So what? This is class. This is class right now. This is history class. Okay, so I'm putting the pieces together for y'all brothers and sisters that really want to get the understanding. And for the rest of y'all that's backbiting and like I say, you trying to talk about the brother Quana, the other brother T.O.Z, and any other brothers that know the truth about the 10 tribes. Yeah, this is class, man. This is showing you this class. So the people meeting the captives, okay, that were called Negro. Okay, again, like I said, this is not being. I haven't seen this in Israel. I've been in Israel for a while, and I watch the videos of who natives being Israel and things like that, but I'm not seeing this. Okay, so it says, and it is very likely that some of the latter were taken 9 leagues into the interior to see the king of Portugal. There it was that 2 Americans drew maps which showed the Lacayos, which we showed the Lacayans earlier, Bahamian, that's shout out to the brother, but Cuba, Haiti, and other islands. It may be also that Columbus left some Americans with the Portuguese, as discussed earlier. So this is the big one. Okay, so it says world as discussed earlier, world population is approximately 400 million, of whom 80 million inhabit the Americas. By the middle of the 16th century, out of these 80 million, there remain 10. If the word genocide has ever been applied to a situation with some accuracy, this is here the case. But the tens of millions of Americans who disappeared after 1492 did not all die in the Holocaust afflicted within the Americas. So everybody didn't die off, and then they brought Africans, and now all these islands is filled with Africans. No, they didn't die off. Because again, a lot of people was classified as Negro. They couldn't claim their tribe anymore. Similar like the scriptures, we couldn't claim that we were Jews. So likewise, but again, we already know all the history of the Americans that showing Indians were Hebrews, okay, Israelites. Okay, but it says many thousands were sent to Europe, like we just read, and Africa. Okay, so where their descendants still live. Okay, and I got other sources, that that Indians had, inhabited West Africa before the slave trade. Okay, so we was going out there as well. Okay, so yeah, and then slave trade come back. So a lot, like I said, some could be, and it's not far fetched. Why you got Nigerians claiming Gad? Why Yoruba claiming, or Ghana, claiming their of Ephraim. Okay, so on and so forth. But it says many thousands were sent to Europe and Africa where their descendants still live. Okay, so just going back to what it said in the last book, but even Isaiah 11. All right, so that's a dagger, man. That is a real dagger. All right, so let me see. So I know y'all probably, I mean, for the real, they y'all gonna soak up this knowledge. All right, so let